Hi guys, Brett here from Hearns Hobbies, and today I'm going to take a look at, unbox and power up the TRAXXAS X-Maxx, this big mighty base. So join me as we get stuck in. Okay, so join me as we get this X-Maxx unboxed. Oh, what a unit! Oh, get it out, it's like a wrestling match. It's like fighting a crocodile, just getting it out of the box. Got my little 9 steps hobby knife here. Did I get it the right side? Oh, it's upside down. That old chestnut. Ooh, what a unit. Now, one thing about TRAXXAS is they do amazing packaging and boxes. They really do. The stuff is always safe. It's always secure until I get it out of the box. Here we go. Oh, look at this. And this is the solar flare paint job. Really cool. Nice and bright. Really colourful. What's in the box? Nothing. We've got everything. Have a look at the size of this guy. He is huge. Nice cardboard packaging. Get that off here. Ah, we've got our TQI radio. Put that to the side. Look at this. This is how long it takes you to start from box to bashing in about 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. Let's have a look at what we are working with. He is massive. Beautiful protective coat. Really big chunky tyres. Let's get the body off and get the protective film off on this one. Okay guys. Wow. Like I said, that is the solar flare one. I've never actually seen one in the life. They are really cool, really bright, really vibrant. Yeah, quality, classy TRAXXAS all the way. So, pretty familiar with one of these X-Maxxes. I've played one, albeit that's a lot fresher than mine. So, very familiar running gear. So, you can run these, I think, down on like 6S, 4S, 6S or 8S. Of course, we're going to power this sucker up with 8S. We want this thing to fly. Now, I'm not going to be test driving it, but we've got our 2 saddle packs here, either side. Yeah, you can probably run it on a 4S with a wire connector in there. There's a series parallel connector, but we're always going to run it with saddle packs. Demonstrate how we put that in. And a beautiful retention here. Obviously, the X-Maxx is 4-wheel drive, has fluid-filled diffs, has huge aluminium shock absorbers. Look at that suspension travel. It is absolutely massive. And when you see what these guys can do, it's no wonder that they're engineered with that. 4-wheel drive transmission that runs through a center differential, and it's all serviceable and rebuildable, so really good stuff. Yeah, this one is so clean and shiny. I love working on the X-Maxx. The shock tower sort of designed that it can be like a truck stand for it. So it gives you easy access to all the undercarriage, all the screws and servicing, making it really easy to check your wheel nuts, get them on and off, service them, rotate them, re-glue them, because you will need constant attention and re-gluing of your tires after you've given it a run to make sure that it all holds together. So, what else have we got in the box? I'm going to put this truck to the side here, if I can do that. Got some instructions. Now these are super classy instructions. Now, being TRAXXAS, one of the biggest RC companies in the world, they put a lot of time and effort, not only into their written instructions, but online. So if you haven't visited TRAXXAS website, or even their mobile app, you should get to that, because they have some really good features, tutorials, and the manuals as well, with full parts listing and diagrams. So what have we got here? Here we have our tuning option. I'm going to get in on the overhead. Here we have our tuning option high-speed spur gear. Now that comes with a 46, and I believe out of the box it has a 50 tooth fitted, so it's a 46, so that's a high-speed one. And that's as simple as changing the gear mesh on the pins. So you don't necessarily need to change the pinion as well, you can just change the spur gear. And like I said, people do complain that they have lots of dramas with these, but I think if you care for them, mesh them, and just don't bash them too hard, I think they are actually pretty reasonable quality. In here we've got some tools. So I'm looking at a wheel wrench, really good that they've included that, and a 2mm and a 2.5mm Allen key, and a little L-shaped Allen key there too. Now that's not going to be the perfect toolkit, but it will definitely get you started. It's going to make it very hard with this toolkit, I'd say, to tighten and check your pinions, that sort of stuff. You really need like a quality 9 steps, quality precision made hex wrench to do jobs like that, to make sure that you can apply the correct torque, because you don't want things to come loose or in fact strip the heads of the screws, rounding them out. What else have we got here? We've got some foam. Now this foam's really handy, and that can be put in to the battery compartment to either change the balance of the car, so you can put the batteries more forward or back and have them nice and tidy in there so they're not rattling around. The last thing you want is your nice new lipos to be rattling around. And again, we've got more space saving device here to put in. If you've got a soft case lipo, you can put this one in as well, and again takes up more space in your battery tray to avoid your batteries rattling around. What else have TRAXXAS given us? We've got some more decals, which is really cool, so you can customize and personalize it straight out of the box. Now we get to the instructions. So a lot of it will be saying what you can and can't do and shouldn't do and won't do, and just how dangerous these are. And in fact, these are a very powerful and dangerous vehicle in the wrong hands, so you do need to use them responsibly. Here we've got a bit of material and advertising for their chargers and batteries. Here we'll have a warranty form, probably for the American market only, and here we have our instructions. Now, like I said, it's really going to talk a lot about safety, as is the world that we live. A lot of different languages. And here we go. So we've got everything from putting the batteries in to a basic glossary of terms, adjustments, again running down the toolkit, what each and every component's for, how to take the body on and off, that can be a little bit tricky when you first do it, how to put the batteries in the controller. How about we do that? Like I said, we are going to power this one up. So I've got the transmitter case right here. Just going to get my 9 steps knife, get that out of the way. The beautiful, simple but reliable TRAXXAS TQI, and that's really good. And what's really good about this radio is it's very simple and effective in what it is, but it's quite capable. Don't let its looks fool you. You can put a Bluetooth module in the back here, which is an extra, and that's a really good feature. Then you can pair that to your phone or your smart device, and that will unlock a lot of tuning features and a lot of live data from the car itself. It'll show you temperatures, voltage, it'll let you adjust the TSM, the TRAXXAS stability management. You can turn that up or down, as well as your endpoints and your brake forces. So that's really, really good. You can also set modes and races and that sort of stuff through that. Taking the lid off here, and it's going to put a couple of AA's in there. You don't need anything too specific. It doesn't have a big LCD screen, so as long as you don't go leaving this radio on, it will last a good amount of time. Go ahead now, turn that on. We've got ourselves a green light. There shouldn't be any further need to push any other buttons. Okay, moving forward in the instructions, it's giving you a basic rundown of the controller. Again, how to put the batteries in safely, what to look for, what to listen. It's talking about steering trims, the multifunction knob, self-righting feature. Again, that's a feature that TRAXXAS have put into their car, so if it goes upside down, you can pull the throttle forward and backwards quite aggressively, and it will right itself. However, it's not a feature that I really like, because it does tend to damage the gearboxes, the spur, the pinions, and the tires. The tires are the first thing to rip apart when you're doing that. Driving and maintenance tips in the instructions. Talks to you about the management, and then we go into a different language. Fantastic. So really good instructions. Give that a read while your batteries are on charge. All right, and the batteries I'm going to use to power this TRAXXAS X-Maxx 9 Steps Industries lithium polymer batteries. Now these ones are 4S 9000 milliamps. 9000 is massive amounts of storage capacity. 4S being how many cells there are. So traditionally it would be a 14.8 volt, but being HV, these are going to be 15.2 volts. This truck's going to be fully charged at 30.4 volts. That's going to give it some serious power. Really looking forward to seeing how that goes. 9000 milliamps, I would say, should give a fairly responsible run time, you know, of fairly gentle running conditions of about 20 minutes to half an hour. That is going to be massive. So something to consider when you're using such big capacity and such high powered batteries such as these is you will have to monitor your motor temp. You can't just assume that you can just full peg this thing in all conditions and the little cooling fans on top of the motor are gonna cope. That might not be the case. So every 5 or 10 minutes, just stop the truck, whip the body off, physically put your hand, or if you've got an infrared temperature unit, you can put that on and measure the temperature of the motor, or you can touch it. If it's hot to the touch as far as you can't hold your finger on there, it's time to stop and give it a break for half an hour. Right, let's get this truck back over here. We'll just zoom out a little bit. It's such a big truck to catch on camera. Okay, now being a brand new rig, I am going to power it up, but I'm not going to go fitting all the battery foams and everything like that at this stage. But you can see here the gap that I've got in over the top. This is what you want to avoid. You don't want your batteries to be smashing and moving about while you're driving. It's going to create a really unpredictable driving style or handling characteristic of the truck as that weight's moving forward and back. You've got to remember this is about 700 grams. So you've got 1.5 kilos, 2 batteries moving wherever it wants. So you've got to pack that in nice and tight. The next thing is to make sure that you put the battery systems and click it in like so. Now you want it to be firm, and they are adjustable like so. And we want to click, and now that is not going to go anywhere. Like I said, once you have your foam in there, that would be absolutely perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll plug this one in. Nice and tight, beautiful connectors, TRAXXAS connectors. Really good at the job that they're intended to do. The second battery, now that can go in. Now I'm expecting to hear, again, I'll get this located. Making sure the fan's on nice and tight. Making sure that the motor plugs are plugged all the way in. I can see a little bit of copper there. They all seem nice and firm. And then we can go ahead and plug this bad boy in. I mean, I am expecting a noise. Did you hear that spark? A little bit of arc there as the capacitors charge up. I'll turn the ESC on. We have got lights and we have got power. Now TRAXXAS ones, you do have to unplug them on the latest sort of additions and firmwares. You do have to unplug them to turn them off, and that's to ensure that you're not leaving your battery packs plugged in. Leaving your battery packs plugged in to your X-Maxx or any other RC vehicle can in fact cause the batteries to discharge beyond a threshold that they're happy to recharge. So you're effectively killing your batteries from leaving them plugged in. Okay, transmitter on. We got the green light on. We will go ahead now, plug that in, get a big spark. We are powered up. I can hear the fans moving. And very gently with the steering, I'm just making sure that it is in fact working. I do have an end point. We'll come back the other way. Now usually I would use a big stand or in fact 2 people for this, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of gentle throttle, otherwise it can, like so. So I know I have forward motion. So now what I would do is just put the body on. Where did I put the body? Put the body shell on, I never like running my cars without the body shells. It's the easiest way to do damage to parts that aren't supposed to be exposed. And then take it for a run. That is fantastic. And the first run I would definitely give it would definitely be more gentle. I'd take it to an oval or a big wide flat space. You don't want to get it too dirty your first outing, and just go gently for at least the first 5 minutes, and then bring it back in, give it a check over, check the temperatures. You probably want to check over the wheel nuts and a few bits and pieces just to make sure that nothing's coming loose before you really start to give it a hard time and exploring the limits of not only the vehicle but your own capabilities. This vehicle will definitely push that. This thing will have speeds of in excess of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour out of the box with these two 4S lipos. Extremely powerful, will wheel stand across the length of an oval, and I know that all from experience because that's what we do for fun. Okay, well, I'm Brett from Hearns, and thanks for having a look at the TRAXXAS X-Maxx with me.